everyone, it's Jay Avery. On this next video, I've really been planning on doing an introduction on it. My wife insisted that I do one. So this is my icebreaker, basically my introduction speech at Toastmasters. You tell a little bit about yourself and why you joined. Enjoy.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. The year was 2009, the year of the ox and the Ponzi scheme. I was a ninth grade student in high school at a high school in Dallas, Texas, and I was part of that school's AAA organization. Now, while I'm more than happy to help anyone out with their flat tires or roadside assistance, it wasn't that AAA. This was the school's African American Association. And this year, I was responsible for putting on a showcase for that year's Black History Month. So I personally decided to write a poem and recite it. Now, I was excited about writing this poem and performing it because I love words. Not necessarily the punctuations or the grammar, but more so the ability to communicate, to convey, and even persuade. So the day comes, and the day before, I remember buying a brand new shirt out, black and gray with pinstripes. I ironed it out that night, and that morning when it came, I shut off to school. So I was in anticipation of this speech. Nothing could go wrong, except I made one mistake. I told my fellow 14-year-old friends that not only would I be reading a poem, but that I'd be reading a poem that I had personally written. Immediately came the laughter, immediately came the jokes, and ultimately it said on I was going to embarrass myself and that I shouldn't do it. Now, I would love to say that I stood up to them, that I looked them in their eyes and said, I don't care what you say, I am going to perform. But I didn't. So this happened early that day. So I had to go the rest of the school day with this new mental baggage. What if my poem was stupid? What if I did embarrass myself? So then, as with all external deadlines, it was suddenly upon me. The showcase started and it was my time to perform. So I did. I originally penned that poem with soul and passion, and I intended to perform it the same way. But due to my own inner doubts, my own inner fears, I could not do the poem justice on that stage. That was one of my earliest memories of dealing with fear, of self-doubt, and I think about it often. However, we fast forward. It's October 2021, and my closest friend Josh Gonzalez is getting married. And out of our circle of friends, he chooses me to be his best man. Now I'm honored. But the best man has two responsibilities. One, the rings, no issue. Two, the speech. A speech. How can I do a speech? I'm literally terrified for weeks leading up to the wedding. Now, in order for you to understand why I want to give this speech so badly, I have to tell you about me and Josh's relationship. Essentially, the latter half of my sophomore year of high school, I was homeless. However, Josh and his mother, Maria, allowed me to live the last 2 years of high school under their roof. So I felt a personal obligation to do this for him, to return that kindness. But I'm still burdened by it. So about a week or so up to the wedding, Josh and I have a deep, meaningful conversation. He tells me that he appreciates that I was always there for him, and that he loves me as if I were his brother. Ladies and gentlemen, all fear evaporated. The day of the wedding came, and I gave that speech with vigor, with power, with gusto. Was it perfect? No. Did I stumble? Yes. Now, did I embarrass myself? Maybe. But it was real. It was authentic. I joined Toastmasters to not only improve my public speaking and communication skills, but to overcome fear. Because it is my personal experience that you cannot allow fear to dictate how you live your life. Thank you.
That was my introduction speech to Toastmasters. As you can see in the beginning, I was somewhat nervous, using only one hand for my hand gestures. Then as I went on, I became more confident. I started using more wide open hand gestures, using both arms. A little bit of body movement, raising my tone of voice. So you may go through this when you first start speaking. You'll find that you may have a hard time changing your tone or even using hand gestures. So this is part of the course, guys. It's something that I'm still experiencing, that I'll work through myself. And as we'll see, we'll keep working through it. So be sure to tune in next week. We're taking this one speech at a time, guys. I'll see you next week.